Do you remember when you could work all day, enjoy your evenings, and still have energy to spare? When your confidence was unshakable, your body responded the way you wanted, and life felt powerful? If you're now battling constant fatigue, watching that stubborn belly fat expand, losing interest in intimacy, or just feeling that your energy isn't what it used to be, I understand why you might think you just need another pill, another quick fix, another prescription to mask the symptoms. But what if the real enemy isn't your age? What if it's not your genetics or some inevitable decline? What if the real enemy is sitting in your coffee mug each morning, hidden in your seemingly healthy snacks, waiting in that evening dessert you've convinced yourself you deserve after a long day? The truth is shocking but liberating. Sugar could be silently destroying your testosterone, crushing your blood flow, and dismantling your masculine chemistry piece by piece. And no pill on earth can outwork a diet that's sabotaging you from the inside. Here's what most doctors won't tell you. The path to restored energy, confidence, and masculine power doesn't always come from a prescription pad. For many men over 60, it starts with understanding how the sweet poison in our modern diet is stealing your vitality, and exactly how to get it back. By the end of this video, you'll understand precisely how reducing sugar can reignite your natural vitality and put you back in control, without dependency on medications that merely mask the problem. Comment below. Have you ever noticed how sugar affects your energy or drive? Your answer might surprise you once you hear what's coming next. Introduction. Welcome back to Vital Core 60. I'm your host, and today we're tackling one of the most overlooked causes of low energy, poor performance, and diminished masculine vitality in men over 60. Let's start with an uncomfortable truth. Most men our age have no idea what sugar is really doing to their hormones, their blood flow, and their body's ability to function like a man's body should. And it's not entirely your fault. The food industry has billions of reasons to keep you in the dark, and the pharmaceutical companies have billions more to sell you solutions for problems you could have prevented. Now, before we dive deeper, let me make something crystal clear. This video is not about cutting all joy from your life or turning you into some monk-like ascetic who never enjoys a meal again. This isn't about deprivation. This is about biological freedom. This is about understanding the invisible chains that have been keeping you from feeling like yourself and breaking them one by one. This is not a diet video. This is about reclaiming your birthright as a man to feel strong, clear-headed, and confident in your own skin well into your 60s, 70s, and beyond. So settle in. What I'm about to share could change everything about how you understand your body's decline, and more importantly, how to reverse it naturally. What sugar does to men over 60. Let's get right to it. What exactly happens in the body of a man over 60 when sugar enters the system? It's a cascade of biological events that directly attack the very essence of your masculinity. First, let's talk testosterone, the cornerstone of what makes you feel like a man. When you consume sugar, your pancreas releases insulin to deal with the sudden glucose spike. This isn't just about diabetes risk. Most men don't realize that excess insulin actively suppresses testosterone production. Your body simply cannot maintain optimal testosterone levels when insulin is chronically elevated. It's a biological impossibility. A study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology found that men with higher insulin levels had significantly lower testosterone, regardless of age or weight. But the effect is even more pronounced after 60, when your natural production is already facing challenges. Now, let's move to your blood vessels, the highways that deliver oxygen, nutrients, and hormones throughout your body. Sugar doesn't just flow through these vessels harmlessly, it inflames them, it stiffens them, it damages their delicate lining. Think of sugar as sandpaper on the inside of your arteries, creating tiny abrasions where plaque builds up, reducing blood flow everywhere, including the places that define your masculinity. And speaking of those places, let's address erectile function directly. When sugar impairs your body's production of nitric oxide, the molecule that relaxes blood vessels and increases blood flow, the effect on your performance is direct and unmistakable. No nitric oxide means no blood flow means no performance. It's that simple. And all the blue pills in the world can't fix the underlying damage sugar is causing to this vital system. Then there's your energy. Your cells contain powerhouses called mitochondria that convert food to energy. Sugar forces these mitochondria to work inefficiently. Instead of clean, sustained energy, you get quick spikes followed by crushing lows. That's why you feel wiped out at 2 p.m., reaching for more sugar or caffeine just to make it through the day. It's a vicious cycle that's destroying your natural vitality. But perhaps most insidious is what sugar does to your waistline, specifically your belly fat. This isn't just about appearance. Abdominal fat is metabolically active tissue that converts your precious testosterone into estrogen through a process called aromatization. Yes, you heard that right. The more belly fat you carry, the more your body is actively turning your male hormones into female hormones. Sugar isn't just making you tired, it's making you biochemically less masculine every single day. And finally, there's sleep, nature's time for testosterone production and recovery. Sugar deregulates your melatonin and disrupts deep sleep cycles where most of your hormonal restoration occurs. Poor sleep equals poor testosterone equals poor energy equals poor performance. The equation is brutal but undeniable. Think of sugar as a master saboteur. It doesn't just attack one system. It systematically dismantles every aspect of your masculine biochemistry, creating a downward spiral that conventional medicine treats symptom by symptom, never addressing the root cause. Signs you may be eating too much sugar. Now you might be thinking, I don't eat that much sugar. I don't dump it in my coffee or eat candy bars. But here's the thing. Sugar hides everywhere in our modern food supply, and your body doesn't distinguish between natural sugar, high fructose corn syrup, or that organic cane sugar in your health food store products. So how do you know if sugar is the invisible force dragging down your vitality? Let me walk you through the warning signs that sugar has hijacked your masculine biochemistry. First, those afternoon crashes. If you find yourself nodding off at your desk around 2 or 3 p.m. or suddenly needing to lie down after lunch, that's not normal aging. That's your body processing a glucose overload and crashing when it can't maintain the high. Then there's the sweet tooth that appears right after meals. When you find yourself craving something sweet to finish your dinner, that's not just habit. That's your brain chemistry altered by consistent sugar exposure, demanding another hit. Brain fog is another major red flag. When you can't think clearly, when words escape you, when focus becomes increasingly difficult. This isn't just senior moments. It's what happens when your brain is riding the glucose roller coaster instead of burning clean fuel. Erectile issues often get blamed on age alone, but they're frequently an early warning sign of metabolic damage from sugar. Remember, erectile function is primarily a vascular event. If sugar is damaging blood vessels throughout your body, those crucial to your performance are affected first, not last. Morning fatigue, waking up already tired despite a full night's sleep, often points directly to sugar's interference with your sleep architecture. You may have been unconscious for 8 hours, but sugar prevented the deep restorative sleep your body craves. That increasing abdominal fat that seems to appear overnight, it's not just about calories. It's about hormonal chaos triggered by excess sugar, creating the perfect environment for storing fat precisely where you don't want it, and converting testosterone to estrogen in the process. Mood swings or irritability might seem purely psychological, but they're often direct reflections of unstable blood sugar. That short fuse with your wife or grandkids might actually be biochemical, not emotional. And finally, that profound lack of drive and motivation that so many men over 60 accept as just getting older? It's often the cumulative effect of sugar degrading your hormonal environment, leaving you a shadow of the man you're meant to be. If 3 or more of these signs resonate with you, sugar is likely silently undermining your health, your hormones, and your happiness. If this is starting to make sense, give this video a like. It helps us reach more men like you who deserve to know these hard truths before reaching for another prescription. What happens when you reduce sugar after 60? Now for the good news. And it's really good news. Your body has an extraordinary capacity for renewal. When you remove the poison, healing begins almost immediately, especially regarding sugar's effects on your masculine biochemistry. Let me walk you through the timeline of what happens when a man over 60 significantly reduces his sugar intake. Within just 24 hours, insulin sensitivity starts to improve. This means your body needs to produce less insulin to manage your blood sugar. Remember what we discussed earlier. Less insulin means your testosterone production faces less suppression. It's your first step toward hormonal restoration. Within those first 24 hours, you'll also notice more stable energy. No more dramatic peaks and valleys throughout the day. Instead of the afternoon crash that sends you to the couch, you'll maintain steady, usable energy. By the end of the first week, most men notice their morning wake-ups changing dramatically. Instead of dragging yourself out of bed, you'll find yourself awakening more naturally, with clearer thoughts and greater readiness to engage with your day. This is also when brain fog begins to lift. Thoughts become sharper. Words come more easily. Decision-making improves. It's as if someone cleaned the smudges off your mental windshield. Around the 2-week mark is when many men report the first noticeable improvements in erectile performance. As inflammation subsides and nitric oxide production increases, blood flow improves everywhere, including the areas essential to your confidence as a man. The body prioritizes survival functions first, and reproduction is high on that biological priority list. By 30 days, the changes become profound and unmistakable. Testosterone levels typically show measurable improvement in blood work. Abdominal fat begins to respond, often decreasing even without additional exercise changes. Your body is shifting from glucose burning to becoming more metabolically flexible, able to efficiently use both carbohydrates and fat for fuel. Sleep architecture normalizes around this time, too. Many men report deeper, more restorative sleep, waking up fewer times during the night and feeling genuinely refreshed in the morning. This improved sleep further boosts testosterone production, creating a positive feedback loop. Perhaps most surprising to many men is the psychological shift that occurs. As your biochemistry stabilizes, your mood becomes more consistent. Irritability decreases, confidence grows. That mental edge that you might have thought was gone forever, it comes back, sometimes with a vengeance. By the 60-day mark, most men experience a profound revelation. What they had attributed to just getting older was largely the result of metabolic damage from years of excess sugar consumption. The body wasn't failing because of age. It was failing because of fuel. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress. And the body responds faster than most men realize. Even reducing sugar by 50% can trigger many of these positive changes. Your body wants to function optimally. It wants to express your masculine potential. You just need to stop actively preventing it from doing so. Subscribe now if you're serious about living stronger, naturally, because what I'm about to share next could transform how you approach food forever, without feeling deprived. Replacing sugar with power foods. Now let's get practical. How exactly do you reduce sugar without feeling like you're living a life of denial and bland food? The key isn't willpower, it's replacement. Strategic substitutions that satisfy the same pleasurable sensations without the hormonal devastation. Let's start with beverages, one of the biggest hidden sources of sugar for most men. That soda, whether regular or diet, is destroying your hormonal balance with every sip. The solution isn't just water, though that's certainly beneficial. Try sparkling water with a squeeze of fresh lemon and a few drops of liquid stevia if you need sweetness. The carbonation, the flavor, the ritual, it's all there, without the metabolic damage. What about desserts? This is where many men throw in the towel, believing they must forever abandon satisfaction. Nothing could be further from the truth. Dark chocolate, 80% cacao or higher, with a handful of fresh berries, activates many of the same pleasure centers as sugar-laden desserts, but the metabolic effect is entirely different. The flavonoids in dark chocolate actually improve blood flow, while berries provide sweetness with minimal glucose impact. Breakfast is another sugar battlefield. That bowl of cereal, even the healthy kinds, is often nothing more than a glucose bomb to start your day. Replace it with eggs cooked in real butter, half an avocado, and a small handful of walnuts. This combination provides sustained energy, supports testosterone production, and keeps you full for hours without the mid-morning crash. For flavoring foods without sugar, become friends with cinnamon, which not only adds sweetness without glucose but actually helps stabilize blood sugar. Vanilla extract, ginger, and nutmeg can transform ordinary foods into satisfying experiences without the metabolic price tag. The foundation of your new approach should center on protein and healthy fats, the building blocks of testosterone and the nutrients that keep you fullest the longest. Grass-fed beef, wild-caught salmon, eggs, olive oil, avocados. These aren't just alternatives to sugar-laden foods. They're superior fuels that actively support your masculine biochemistry. Here's a powerful truth. When you increase protein and healthy fats, sugar cravings naturally diminish. It's not about fighting the cravings with willpower. It's about feeding your body what it truly needs, so the cravings stop dominating your decision-making. Let me be clear. This isn't about never enjoying a piece of birthday cake with your grandchildren or having a glass of wine with your wife. This is about making sugar the rare exception rather than the daily rule. When sweet foods become occasional rather than habitual, your taste buds reset. You'll be shocked at how sickeningly sweet many of your former favorites become once your palate normalizes. When you fuel like a man, your body remembers it's a man. It's really that straightforward. The right fuel awakens dormant biochemical pathways that have been suppressed by years of sugar overload. Every meal is either fighting inflammation or feeding it. Every bite is either supporting your testosterone or suppressing it. Food isn't just calories. It's information, telling your body how to function on the most fundamental level. Hormones, blood flow, and performance. Now let's connect all these dots to what matters most, how you feel, function, and perform as a man over 60. Because reducing sugar isn't just about avoiding diabetes or heart disease, it's about reclaiming the essence of your masculinity. When you reduce sugar, you're not just changing what's on your plate. You're fundamentally altering your body's biochemical environment in ways that directly impact your masculine function. First, nitric oxide production increases. This molecule is absolutely crucial for blood vessel dilation and healthy blood flow. Without adequate nitric oxide, erectile function becomes impossible, no matter how many pills you take. Those medications work by enhancing nitric oxide's effects, but they can't overcome the damage caused by chronically high sugar intake. By addressing the root cause, you're supporting natural function rather than forcing a temporary chemical override. Vascular function improves dramatically when sugar is reduced. Your arteries become more flexible, more responsive. Blood flows more freely throughout your entire body, including the pelvic region. This doesn't just affect performance in the bedroom. It affects energy, brain function, recovery from exertion, and every aspect of physical capacity. Then there's cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone. Sugar consumption creates blood glucose spikes and crashes that register as physical stress, raising cortisol levels. Chronically elevated cortisol directly suppresses testosterone production. By stabilizing your blood sugar, you lower cortisol, removing one of the major testosterone suppressors in your biochemistry. Natural testosterone production responds remarkably well to reduced sugar intake, especially in men over 60. As insulin levels normalize, as sleep deepens, as inflammation subsides, your body can allocate more resources to hormone production rather than constant damage control. This leads to perhaps the most liberating benefit: decreased dependency on medications. I've seen countless men reduce or eliminate their need for ED medications, sleep aids, and mood stabilizers simply by removing the sugar that was causing the problems in the first place. This isn't about refusing medical help when needed. It's about addressing causes rather than symptoms. But perhaps most important is the return of confidence, that intangible yet essential quality that defines masculine energy. When your body works as designed, when your energy is stable, when your mind is clear and your performance is reliable, something profound happens. You stand taller, you speak with more authority, you engage with life more fully. This isn't psychological suggestion. It's the natural expression of optimized biology. There's an unspoken truth that most healthcare providers won't discuss. Physical performance and emotional confidence are inseparable for men. When one improves, the other follows. By addressing the root cause impacting your physical capability, your psychological state transforms as a natural consequence. The science is crystal clear on this connection between sugar, hormones, blood flow, and masculine function. A 2018 study in the European Journal of Endocrinology found that men who reduced sugar intake increased their testosterone levels by an average of 15% in just 3 months, without any other interventions. A similar study from Tufts University found that vascular function improved by 27% within 8 weeks of significant sugar reduction. These aren't small incremental changes. They're transformative shifts in how your body functions, how you feel, and ultimately, how you show up in the world as a man. Conclusion. Call to action. As we wrap up today, I want you to remember something critical. Your energy doesn't come from caffeine or pills or willpower. It comes from the fuel you give your body. Every single day, you're either feeding the fire of your vitality or slowly extinguishing it. For too many men over 60, sugar has been the silent extinguisher, dampening hormones, restricting blood flow, depleting energy, and gradually erasing confidence. But now you know the truth. Now you understand both the problem and the solution. You don't need pills. You need less sugar. And that one change could unlock everything you've been missing. This isn't about perfection. It's not about never enjoying life's pleasures or becoming obsessive about every gram of sugar. It's about understanding the enormous power of this one change and making informed choices that serve your greater goal, living strong, vital, and confident well into your later years. Start today, not with radical deprivation, but with small replacements. One sugary drink becomes sparkling water. One processed snack becomes protein and healthy fat. One high-carb breakfast becomes eggs and avocado. These small decisions compound daily, rewriting your biochemistry with every bite. Within days, you'll feel the difference. Within weeks, you'll see it. Within months, you might not even recognize the man in the mirror, not because he looks radically different, though he might, but because the energy behind his eyes, the confidence in his posture, and the clarity in his thinking have been transformed. Rebuild your strength from the inside out, starting today. Take back control of your masculine biochemistry one meal at a time. Your body is waiting to respond. It wants to express your full potential. All you need to do is stop actively preventing it from doing so. And if this video brought you clarity or motivation, click the thanks button below to support this message and help another man get his power back. Your action today could be the catalyst that changes someone else's life tomorrow. This is Vital Core 60, dedicated to keeping you strong, vital, and confident through knowledge, not prescriptions. Until next time, remember, age is inevitable, but decline is optional. Choose power.